playoff softball week in Minnesota. And today on CCX, a Section 5 4A second round matchup between the number 3 seed, the Spring Lake Park Panthers, and the number 2 seed, the Maple Grove Crimson. Warm day for softball today in the upper 80s. And a great day to play, though. Jim Feldman, we've got some clouds this afternoon, which will make it a little more bearable, a little bit of a breeze. But
I know, but the clouds being out here takes away any kind of a sun factor, and so these are like almost perfect conditions for playing ball. Not too much wind, a little bit warm, but that's okay. We can deal with it.
Let's look at the Section 5 4A bracket. Just 6 teams in this section this year, and so Centennial and Maple Grove each receiving a first-round bye. Maple Grove actually playing its first tournament game today. Spring Lake Park advancing with a shutout a win over Osseo to get to this round. Osseo dropping into the losers bracket will actually play the loser of this game. Champlin Park and Centennial playing at the same time as this one up in Circle Pines, and then the winners will meet tomorrow in the winners bracket final at 4 o'clock. Batting order for the Spring Lake Park Panthers coming in at 9-11 on the season. As I mentioned, number 3 seed in the section. Hannah Rebke is their leadoff hitter. Batting center field, Audrey Bendersky at first. Kennedy Stone at second. Larissa Snyder catching. Ashlyn Peterson left. Lexa Nielsen at third. Jenna Nussbaum pitching. Brianna Nussbaum in right field. And Carissa Rell, the shortstop. Bella Daniels in the circle for Maple Grove. Throws the first pitch outside for a ball.
Yeah, we'll see how Bella attacks these hitters today. I know she's got a really good rise ball, and she's been throwing pretty hard lately, so we'll see what she's coming up with.
That one missed, and it's 2-0. Daniels on the season, 12 wins and 4 losses. Has pitched 90 and 2/3 innings with 110 strikeouts on the season, ERA of 2.01. Lifted in the air, foul without a play.
Yeah, she's pitched about 80% of the innings for the Crimson this year, which is a pretty typical workload for your number 1 pitcher.
Two-one pitch hit the short. Elizabeth Berry up with it cleanly, throws over to Caitlin Casper at first for the first out of the ball game.
Batting second, number 23, first baseman, Audrey Bendersky.
Look at the defense for the Crimson today. Casper at first, Cassie St. Peter at second, Berry at short, Dorothy Dewick at third, Danny Strom, Sydney Hockett, Alyssa Werns in the outfield, Jenna Grunig catching today for Bella Daniels. Here's Audrey Bendersky, first baseman, good hitter for the Panthers. Steps in here against Daniels, takes it up high for a ball. These teams played in late April. It wasn't close. Maple Grove winning 15-1.
And I've been out to see 4 of the playoff games already this year.
Popped up.
Yeah.
Berry at short, making the catch 2 away. Excuse me, Jim.
Oh, yeah. No, then each of those 4 games I've seen have all been run rule mercy endings. And so, looking for something better here today. On the other hand, the history shows that could be a one-sided affair again.
Spring Lake Park has certainly had some strong teams throughout the years. These teams have been rivals in section tournament play for 10 years or more. First pitch strike in to Kennedy Stone, the second baseman. Left fielder, second baseman hitting in the number 3 spot today for Spring Lake Park. Misses high for a ball. It's 1-1.
Yeah, Spring Lake Park has a pretty young team going out there. It's a couple of seniors. Maple Grove is a much more veteran team. And of course, they've got that veteran experience going back to winning the state championship.
Ooh, fouled off. The bat goes flying.
Oh, completely out of the park. A couple of fans over there retrieve it.
Take a look at it again. There goes the ball, and there goes the bat over the dugout. Grunig made a chase on it, couldn't get to it.
Yeah.
Stone's got her bat back and ready to go. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Up high, 2-2.
That's probably one of the warmer games that kids have played, and maybe she just hasn't found a grip that she likes yet. A bit of extra humidity on the hands and sweat.
No batting glove, a swing and a miss. And so the strikeout, number 111 on the season for Daniels, retired Stone. And Spring Lake Park is out in order here in the top half of the first inning. Look at that pitch again. As we look at the batting order today for the Crimson, number 2 seed, 14-5 on the season, ranked in the top 10 in Class 4A. And leadoff hitter today, Elizabeth Berry. She's one of the players who was on that state championship team 2 years ago as a freshman. Leads off play shortstop, Sydney Hockett, another veteran. Center fielder batting second. Dorothy Dueck at third base, batting third. Bella Daniels, the pitcher, hitting fourth. Jenna Grunig is the catcher, hits fifth. And Caitlin Casper, Bianca Nelson, Alyssa Werns in right field, batting eighth. Danny Strom in left field hits ninth for the Crimson. And the defense today for Spring Lake Park, Mandursky at first, Stone at second, Rell at short, and Nielsen at third. Ashlyn Peterson in left, and a Repke in center. Brianna Nussbaum is the right fielder. Larissa Snyder catching, and Jenna Nussbaum is the pitcher for Spring Lake Park. Nussbaum, a junior. Maple Grove team suffered a couple of losses at the end of the regular season. Finished with a good Eden Prairie team. Lost twice. So they've lost 3 non-conference games. 11-2 record in the conference for the Crimson. Their losses coming to Centennial and Elk River, both in the top 5 in Class 4A.
Yeah, I know. This is such a tough conference this year. I mean, here's Maple Grove. They're either ranked 7th or 8th, depending which poll you're looking at, and they're third place in their conference.
First pitch from Nussbaum on the bottom of the first, inside corner for a strike to Berry. Miss Berry comes in a .475 batting average, 29 for 61 on the season. 8 extra base hits, 15 runs batted in, also a team high 9 walks. So she is going to get on more often than not. But behind here to Nussbaum, 0-2.
Yeah, she's looking for a pitch to drive to start the ball game, and didn't find those for her liking, so now she's got to protect the plate, get something in play.
And does put it in play, is short and not able to make a play on it as well. And Berry is aboard.
Maple Grove center fielder number 1.
Yeah, that's why it's so important, just to get the bat on the ball, make the defense. Yeah, it's an error in the shortstop.
Yeah. So Berry reaches on the air to start the ball game, and it'll bring up Sydney Hockett. Hockett, in front of it, and fouls it away.
It went just a little bit farther than the bat went in the top of the
right. Drive this one hard, deep in the hole off the shortstop glove that went past the third baseman. We'll give her a hit on that. On a hard hit ball by Hockett. Berry to second. So an infield single and an error, and 2 runners aboard to start the ball game for Maple Grove.
Yeah, I think Nielsen actually got a glove on that ball and deflected it past the shortstop.
Yeah.
I mean, there wouldn't have been a play either way. It was a hard hit ball. And
yeah, if she hadn't touched it, Rell may have been able to knock it down deep in the hole, but wouldn't have had a chance to throw it Hockett.
Yeah.
Here's Dorothy Dueck, left-handed hitting third baseman, batting in number 3 spot, lays the bunt down. Nussbaum will go to third.
Too late.
The umpires are going to call it. The base umpire deferred to the plate umpire. Now they're going to talk about it again. The plate umpire says out. Goldus said, well, he thought his player was safe and also thought it was probably the base umpire should have made the call.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's what you had a base umpire for.
Yeah, she's out. So good play by Nussbaum. Let's take a look at it again. Didn't hesitate either. She's like, I'm going to third with this.
Batting fourth, pitcher number 9, Bella Daniels.
That was a close play.
Yeah.
Looks like she beat it, though.
I think she was in. But it does not matter what we think.
It's not our opinion.
It is not. So good defensive play by Nussbaum. 1-5 on the putout. Hawk at the second, and Dueck now the runner at first. 1 down.
That's what you tell your players. That was an out. There's nothing else to say.
Daniels takes a strike. Bella Daniels, the pitcher number 4 hitter for Maple Grove. Nussbaum's pitch grounded to third, off her glove, throw to third, and in safely is Hockett.
We're going to have another discussion about this one.
Number 17, Jenna Grunig.
Because the throw clearly beat her. Must have pulled her off the
Tony
base.
Stone's out. Because I thought on this play that she was out. We're going to confer again.
Yeah, unless the throw pulled her off the base. Yeah, because it was kind of an awkward little, backhand flip.
Boy, she's...
Oh, no, she's right on it.
All right, so those calls will say cancel each other.
Yes, yes. I mean, you hate to say makeup call, but
Right.
That was the effect.
Running for Maple Grove, number 11, Lee Eiley.
Got a tough start for the
Yeah, a couple
field.
of errors.
Yeah. Oh, I was thinking of the umpires.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, but Spring Lake Park has not been picking up the ball cleanly.
Jim Coltis, 20th season as head coach at Maple Grove. Inside Grunig for a ball. Jenna Grunig, the catcher, hitting number 5, and did a great job with this program. Got that state title 2 years ago. Been in the state tournament a number of times. Runner-up a couple times, and state champs in 2019. Grunig takes it low. Grunig's had a good season with the bat. 345 on the year, 5 extra base hits, 16 RBIs, leads the team. Bases loaded for Maple Grove and 1 out here in the bottom half of the first. Nussbaum's pitch. Nice off-speed pitch in for a strike. Leah Isle running for Bella Daniels at first, the courtesy runner. Hockett at third, Dorothy Dueck at second. Grunig fouls it off, and the count evens at 2-2.
Yeah, Crimson hasn't made any real solid contact yet. They put balls in the ground, put them in play. Sometimes that's good enough.
Drives this one past third and foul.
Just foul.
I would have scored a couple of runs, but it was definitely foul.
Or had she caught it, it would have been a double play.
Right? Yeah, if Nielsen's able to grab that.
And fall on the base, yeah.
She would have had the Hockett doubled off. As it is, it's a foul ball, and the count remains 2-2 to Grunig. To second base on a soft liner, and a catch made there by Kennedy Stone, and there's out number 2.
Yeah, when you're a fielder and you catch a line drive like that, you're always looking for a runner who's strayed a little bit too far, and you usually only got time to make one look. Had she gone right to second base, she might have gotten the out, but she looked at third first. And in softball, anytime you take a second thought, it's usually too late.
Here's Caitlin Casper trying to get something in here from Maple Grove in the first with now 2 outs. Casper does have a home run on the season. Third on the team in RBIs with 14. Rounds this foul.
Yeah, Nussbaum's been throwing a lot of, I won't say soft stuff, but definitely not blazing fastballs.
That one missed. It's 2 balls and a strike now to Casper.
But good location, some good movement on it, keeping the hitters off balance. So it's been working so far.
A little high, 3-1. Casper will be selective here. If she can get one that she likes, she'll drive it. Otherwise, doesn't have to protect here, and takes it up high for a ball, and that's a run.
That's tough way.
In. That's 1-0.
It's a tough way for a pitcher to start the game, walking the first run, especially when you get to 2 outs and you're ready to put the team away and just can't finish the deal.
Buick to third, Isle the second. RBI for Casper. First pitch swinging, grounded to short. Throw to third, and the ball's dropped there. Another run's in, and it's 2-0. Bianca Nelson, first pitch swinging. Hits it to short, bobbled by Rell. Tried to go to Nielsen for the force up, and Nielsen couldn't hang on to it. And another run is in.
Yeah, did that little backhand flip again, and it just didn't work that time. Had time to make the play.
Hit the runner, I think.
Now, when you're facing a team, the caliber of Maple Grove, you don't want to be allowing runs that are not well earned.
You never know, she could be earning her man and learning her man, and at the same time burning her man. Now you know I ain't with that. This shit tenant ain't no get so good enough to get burned while I'm offended, and that's realer than real deal holy feel. And now you hit the.
Alyssa Werns, number 8 hitter, pops up the first pitch. And that's off the shortstop's glove. Rell dropping. And the Crimson get 2 more runs. Isle is in, and Casper.
Now batting left fielder number 15.
Having a tough start out there at shortstop. I'm sure third error, I believe.
Let's go, Scoobs. Bucket.
Yeah, it didn't quite get set up.
Throw to third and over to first. And Nielsen to Bendersky as Strom is out on a pitch, but the Crimson bat 9 in the first inning. 4 runs, just 1 hit, 4 errors, and 2 left on. Played 1 inning here at Maple Grove. Our score, 4-0 Maple Grove.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Snyder.
John Jacobson, Jim Feldman back. Top half of the second inning, Section 5 4A baseball today. Softball, rather, from Maple Grove High School. The number 2-seeded Crimson up with that 4th spot in the bottom half of the first inning. Spring Lake Park will try to chip away at that here in the second. Larissa Snyder, catcher, leading it off for the Panthers. Missed away. It's 1-1. Snyder, Ashlyn Peterson, and Alexa Nielsen. 4, 5, and 6 hitters coming up here for Spring Lake Park.
Yeah, let's see if Maple Groves gets a little, pick up on defense. It didn't really use what they showed in the first inning, but a lot of times that can just pump up your pitcher, pump up your team, putting up a 4 spot. Even if it wasn't the result of you pounding the ball around.
I thought they put the ball in play, and sometimes it's all it takes you to make the other team make the plays. And unfortunately for the Panthers, weren't able to make them really for the most part.
Especially when you get into the high school playoffs. This is what you've been playing all year for, and there's a little bit of nerves, and you make one mistake, and then it kind of compounds itself. And
good swing by Snyder, but fouls it back. 2-2 to the Panthers. Leadoff hitter here in the second. Off speed, nice cut and a miss there by Snyder. And 2 strikeouts now in the game for Daniels.
Yeah, Daniels has set her up on that one. It's always so good to see the way the pitchers actually pitch instead of just throwing the ball, trying to get it by him.
Ashlyn Peterson is the left fielder. Takes a first pitch strike. And there's 2.
Yeah, Bella seems to be throwing a little bit more relaxed and a little bit faster this inning.
Foul back. Well, you're a good pitcher like Daniels, and you've got that 4-0 lead. Feel like you can attack even maybe a little bit more to come out for the next inning.
Oh yeah, and and that's the thing you want to do is you don't want to give the other team free base runners when you've established a lead like that. So just go after them. If they get a hit or 2, it's not that big a deal. If they get a walk or 2, then you start getting nervous.
She's not walked a lot of batters on the season, just 15 walks in nearly 92 innings of work now.
It's just a little over 1 a game. That's really good.
A little floater out to the shortstop. Barrio makes the catch. Peterson retired 2 down.
Third baseman Alexa Nielsen.
Number 6 hitter for Spring Lake Park, Alexa Nielsen. Third baseman today for the Panthers. Swing and a miss. Back and out of play.
Yeah, I look at Bella out at the mound, and I keep wanting to call her Duick, just she had a nice run here.
Yeah, he was an outstanding pitcher now at the University of Minnesota. Her sister at third base today. And Daniels delivers 0-2. Up high, 1-2.
Yeah, just missed with that one. With an 0-2 count, you got a pitch to play with. You don't want to throw it, crazily outside the strike zone. You want to, change the eye level, do something with a purpose on that 0-2 pitch, even if it's not in the zone.
Popped up foul. This will be out of play.
Yeah, so 0-2, she came up with a high outside pitch, and then she, drops down low for the next pitch. And it's hard to make that kind of adjustment real quick unless you're, thinking ahead of the pitcher.
Another 1-2 pitch, low and in. It's 2-2. Good battle here by Nielsen. Trying to become the first base runner of the day for Spring Lake Park. Got a piece of that off speed and able to get the bat out on it and foul it out of play.
Yeah, keep it alive. You know, that's one thing you got to do as a batter. If you get a pitch that you can't really hit, just make sure you get a piece of it. Tap it foul.
Three and two. That one's low. Jenna Nussbaum on deck.
Yeah, runs count full.
Grounded past the circle, backhanded at second, throw to first in time. St. Peter, a nice play, and throws to Casper for the third out of the second inning. 3 up and 3 down. A good at bat
nice play.
by
I didn't think
Nielsen.
she was going to get her. Just run over and had to set. Close play.
Remains 4-0. And with softball world in Minnesota lost a friend, and we lost a friend, Jack Tebow, who passed away suddenly in April. Coached for decades, Jim, and done softball commentary with us on and off for the last 12 to 15 years. Coached Orono in between for a spell and had some great success there, and passed away in mid-April. There'll be a celebration of life for Jack in August. I know you knew him as well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, everybody who's been around softball knows Jack Tebow. And, you know, he and I had a little extra connection because of our interest in music. And so, you know, when we got to get
He was
to
a good
know each
guitar
other.
player.
Yeah. And, you know, and I play as well, play the bass. We never played together, but it was fun. And then we also served on the board of the Renegades together when that club team was just starting up.
And he and I had emailed each other in early April. I'd sent out the schedule for the high school games that were going to televise. Like, yeah, I can definitely do some of those. And it was about a week later that he passed. So our condolences to the Tebow family.
Yeah, completely unexpected.
Yes.
And he went very quickly, so.
We move to the bottom half of the second inning here at Maple Grove. The Crimson leading Spring Lake Park 4-0, and they're back to the top of the order. Again, Elizabeth Berry led off the game. Reached down in air and takes a first pitch strike. Nussbaum's pitch, grounded, is short. Picked up and thrown to first. And a good play by Carissa Rell. Good to see her make that play after some struggles in the first, but fields that one clean and throws up Berry.
Yeah, well, that's what you're really hoping for. Is,
Right.
you know, get that first ball hit right at me. And, you know, I can make the play, and then I can say, fine, all those troubles in the first inning are behind me.
Sydney Hockett had an infield single. It was the only hit, actually, of the first inning for the Crimson. Drives this one up the middle and then the gap perhaps in left center. It gets off the glove of Repke, and hustling into second with a double is Hockett. I don't think even if she had fielded that cleanly that Repke was going to be able to get Hockett out.
No, Hockett was, you know, definitely running all the way, you know, rounded the base without any hesitation. She didn't look up to see if the ball was being fumbled. It was just get the two.
Her sixth double of the season. She's 2 for 2 today, and a runner in scoring position with one out here in the second for the Crimson. And Duick, the batter. Hit into a fielder's choice first time up. Hits this one in the air. Drops in front of the center fielder, Repke. Hockett had a hole to see if Repke was going to be able to make a play on that. So stops at third, and it's a single for Duick. Runners at the corners.
Sun's poked out.
I said earlier,
Yeah,
the sun was behind the clouds, but it is.
Blazing at the moment, although
It
there's
is.
more clouds in the area. So
Bella Daniels, the batter, reached on an error in the first. Shows bunt, ball's inside, and heading down to second without a throw is Dueck, and so now runners at second and third.
Yeah, I think that was just a little distraction, showing bunt, not really intending to bunt, just to get the runner down to second with no play.
Dueck with 9 steals on the season. So when hit deep in the hole at short, throw to first for the out, and that's all. And that's what they get. There's a nice defensive play. Both runners have to hold.
Jenna Grunig.
Yeah, the way that was hit, the runner on third probably could have, come in, because I doubt that the shortstop would be, coming up and looking to throw a home on that. But on the other hand, you don't want to risk it too much.
So Rell with a strong throw gets the second out at first base as Daniels retired. Hockett still at third. Dueck at second, and Grunig fouls that off on the first pitch.
The catcher chased after that ball. I'm not sure she thought it was foul, but I could definitely hear it hit the bat first.
Swing and a miss. Good pitch from Nussbaum. 0-2 on Grunig. Ooh, close pitch.
That looked close.
1-2. Our camera's just a little bit off of being directly on center field, so sometimes pitches that you may see at home look like strikes are out of the strike zone, although that looked pretty good to us from behind the plate. 1-2 as Grunig fouls that one off.
Yeah, you can almost never get the exact straight down the line or straight down the directly over second in the home plate. So you got the pitcher in the way for usually. Good block there.
Snyder keeping it in front of her. The count evens, though, to 2-2. 2 runners in scoring position for Maple Grove as they look to add to their 4-0 lead. Grunig hits it to short. Picked up by Rell. Throws to first. Not the out. And so Rell, who had trouble in the first inning, comes up with 3 nice plays. Jim.
Yeah. Boy, that's
Jim in the second inning to retire Maple Grove.
It's got to feel so good for her.
Strong arm.
Yeah, strong arm. Good plays, good decisions.
Gets Grunig by a step. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left for Maple Grove. They stranded 4 through 2 innings. At the end of 2, Maple Grove 4, Spring Lake Park nothing.
If you love them enough to suck the snot out of their nose at 4 a.m., then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Oh, sweetie. Okay, you know what? Let's take off his sweatshirt. Get rid of pictures of him. You don't have to look at him. Goodbye, Dave.
Mom, you don't understand. He's tagged in like 400 of my posts.
I can cut out tags.
No, that's not how it works.
What is a tag?
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care would love to share their first with you.
Nice afternoon for fans to enjoy a ball game here.
Number 9, Jenna Nussbaum.
Temperature of 89 degrees. Mostly cloudy. A little bit of a breeze, and it's Maple Grove. Leading Spring Lake Park 4-0.
Just enough of a breeze to keep it comfortable, and just enough cloud cover to keep it palatable.
Swing and a miss. Jenna Nussbaum, the pitcher. Number 7 hitter for Spring Lake Park. Panthers looking for their first base runner of the game outside, 1-1. Both of these teams will play tomorrow. Winner will take on either Centennial or Champlin Park in the winner's bracket final. The loser will host Osseo tomorrow. Hit in the air out to center. Hockett under it makes the catch, and Nussbaum retired.
Yeah, this section is playing all the games at the home fields. And, a lot of the other sections will have central locations, and you get 2 and sometimes even 3 games in a single day.
Brianna Nussbaum, the right fielder, is the number 8 hitter for Spring Lake Park. Daniel bunting it, or Nussbaum bunting it, throw to first. That was a fair ball, and they retire Nussbaum. Nice play by the catcher. Grunig didn't hesitate or wait for it to spin foul. Comes up, plays it, throws to Casper, and they retire Brianna Nussbaum for the second out.
Yeah, and that's what you have to do as a defensive player is just, jump on it. Assume it's fair. Jump on it and throw it out.
Carissa Rell is the shortstop. That's 9th. Daniels, first pitch to her, popped up. Second baseman St. Peter backpedals, and it's a quick 1-2-3 inning in the field for Maple Grove. 9 up and 9 down now for pitcher Bella Daniels of Maple Grove. We played 2.5. It remains 4-0 Maple Grove.
CCX Media, your source for great local programming, is now available on Roku and Apple TV. Our free app allows you to stream all 3 of our channels live. You'll also have access to a large on-demand library, including daily newscasts and full sporting events. To find the app, go to the store and search CCX and download our free app. Then sit back and enjoy all of your favorite local content. Now available on Roku and Apple TV.
With Jim Feldman, I'm John Jacobson. Welcome to CCX coverage of Section 5 4A softball. This Thursday afternoon, first pitch swinging, Caitlin Casper out to left field, and Ashlyn Peterson there and makes the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out in the home half of the third.
Bianca Nelson.
Yeah, Nussbaum's been doing her job and pitching pretty well. And in the second inning, she got the defense. In the first inning, she didn't quite get the defensive effort she was looking for. But left to her own designs, this would be a really close game.
Bianca Nelson, the batter.
Redrawing the front end of the batter's box there. Those lines get obliterated so easily.
First pitch strike to Nelson.
When you've got the batters, crowding forward a little bit because the pitching is not as fast as some of the pitching they've been seeing. You just got to make sure you're not stepping out.
In the dirt, it's 1-1. Hits it to short. Rell bobbles, throws. Not in time. And Maple Grove's got a base runner here in the third.
Alyssa Learns.
That one coming up on Rell a little bit. Tough play. And
yeah, she looked like she was in good position and did everything that she was supposed to do.
Melissa Werns hits it out to right, dashing in to make the catch. Brianna Nussbaum for the second out.
Now batting left fielder, number 15, Danny Strom.
Maple Grove going after it often early in the count today, Jim.
Yeah, that's one thing you want to do is when you see a pitcher that you are pretty confident you can hit. You don't want to let her get ahead of you. And so, if that first pitch looks good, just drive it. Now, they haven't been making incredibly solid contact with it. Even the balls that have been hit to the outfield have been kind of ho-hum cans of corn, but
this one hit hard up the middle, though, and there's a solid hit to center field. Strom is on. She's 1 for 2, and 2 runners aboard now for Maple Grove. Nelson to second. Fourth hit of the game for Maple Grove. Coach Tony Stone coming out now. Talk to Jenna Nussbaum. Back to the top of the order again for Maple Grove, and Bisberry up for her third time in 3 innings.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what he had to say because there's nothing, nothing unusual going on. Just a little pep talk saying, okay, we've had a couple runners on a couple of times, and we can just get out of this inning.
Coach Stone in his first year as head coach with the Panthers program. Here's Barry, drives this one deep to left, going back, and it's off the base of the fence over Peterson's head. 2 runs are going to score. It's a 2-run double for Barry, and it's 6-0 Maple Grove.
Okay, they've hit a ball hard.
Center fielder, number 1.
After you said that, Jim, he hit a solid single and then a 2-run double to the fence.
It's kind of like when you start talking about a no-hitter and then the next batter gets a hit. It's just the announcer's jinx.
Nelson and Strom coming in. Barry, her team-high 8th double of the season, and now 17 RBIs on the year. And 2 more up on the board here for Maple Grove in the third.
Giving her an intentional walk.
Well, they'll put Hockett on, who has already singled and doubled today. Set up a force play in the infield, and Dorothy Dueck, the batter.
And for those of you who know baseball rules, here's one of the differences between softball and baseball in that you do not need to remove the pitcher when you're coming out for the second visit in the same
Now on in relief of her sister, Jenna, in the circle. And we'll go to work on Dorothy Dewick. She's coming up here with 2 on and 2 out in the third.
Let's see if a little change pace helps out here. And the other thing that Tony Stone might be thinking about is tomorrow as well.
That one is low, and Snyder can't find it. And both runners able to move up a base. Barry to third and Hockett to second.
Yeah, they would have moved up even without the double pirouette.
One and 0 to Dewick. He's got a single and 2 at bats.
A little bit wild coming in from right field.
Up high, and it's 3-0 to Dewick.
Yeah, I presume she got warm-up time before the game, but then you've been, sitting for 45 minutes and probably not doing any pitching. It's hard to just jump right in sometimes.
High and tight, it's ball 4 and a 4-pitch walk to Dewick from Nussbaum as she comes in.
Now batting pitcher,
and now the base is
#9,
loaded.
Bella Daniels.
So Daniels looking to get a big 2-out hit and kind of put this game away. Help her own cause.
First pitch strike. Good pitch low in the strike zone. Would have been a tough one to drive, and Daniels took it. Barry at third, Hockett at second. Dewick the runner at first. 2 runs already in for Maple Grove here in the third. Up high, 1-1. Jenna Nussbaum moved to second. Kennedy Stone moves from second to center field, and Hannah Repke from center to right field for the Panthers. Cut and a miss by Daniels. It's 1-2.
Yeah, a lot of times it's easy if the number 1 and 2 pitchers both play the same defensive positions. You just make a little switch, but this was a little more complicated of a move.
Count stays at 1-2 to Daniels. Just got a piece of that. Fouled it back.
Well, that changeup is that's really slow. There's a big difference in speed between her fastball and her changeup. Hard to square those up, even if you get a good look at them.
Another 1-2 pitch from Nussbaum. Low and away. And the count evens. Bounces to the plate. Now the count is full.
Another good block. Keep those runners from advancing.
Brianna Nussbaum with the 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strikes out Daniels to end the inning. Good job by Nussbaum coming in a jam and gets the last out. And Maple Grove leads, the bases full. They do get a couple of runs in the inning on 2 hits and error. They lead 3, and they've stranded 7 through 3 innings. After 3 now, new score though, Maple Grove 6, Spring Lake Park nothing.
Emotes say a lot, but they can't say it all. Think your guildmate is struggling? Try these dialogue options. Go beyond emotes. Check in with your guildmates at seizetheawkward.org.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
Sunshiny afternoon in Maple Grove as the sun has popped back out. Crimson fans seeing their team up on Spring Lake Park now 6-0 as they move to the top half of the fourth inning. A busy time of year, Jim, in high school sports. This one hit by Rebke in the air, and the shortstop and left fielder collide, I should say, and collapse.
And collapsed.
Right. Barry and Strom, and the ball drops for a hit in Spring Lake Park as their first base runner of the game.
Yeah, it was kind of a well-placed ball. They just, we're both going after it pretty good.
Now batting first baseman number 23.
Barry spinning and then gave way, and then when she crashed into Strom, the ball kind of popping out of Danny Strom's glove. They'll give Rebke a hit, and then Spring Lake Park's got a batter on here to start the fourth.
Yeah, Strom had the better chance at the ball, but it was still a tough play for her.
First pitch swinging, and Bendersky hits it out of play.
It's first base runner.
We're starting to see what a busy time of year it is, especially this spring. Because of the pandemic, everything got switched a little bit with spring playoffs, where almost virtually all section playoffs in every sport are happening in a 2-week period, this week and next. Popped up on the infield, Casper makes the catch, and Bendersky's retired for the second out. Maple Grove, for instance, their boys lacrosse team playing tonight at home at 7:30. Girls lacrosse starting in about 6 minutes at home. Their girls and boys golf teams are both in section competition today. Their girls winning section 5-3A, and their boys leading after one round. Baseball played yesterday. We'll play again Saturday. We'll have section track and field next week.
Yeah, and that all started because the fall season got pushed back, and so the winter season had to start a little bit late, and then that's pushed back the spring season, the starting points, and they're trying to finish up close to the end of school. The high school softball tournament is a week later than it normally is. And then particularly with softball and baseball, you start running into conflicts with the summer teams, but they, I know that the coaches of the club programs and the coaches of the high schools, a lot of which are the same people, both Tony and Jim coach summer teams as well. So they've made a big effort to try and coordinate and to try and get all the games in, and not burn out the players in the process.
1-2 the count to Kennedy Stone. 0 for 1 today. Daniels pitch, grounded, is short. Barry will shovel it to second. They'll get the lead runner there as they force Rebke at second. 6-4 on the putout. Kennedy Stone reaching on the fielder's choice. 2 down.
Yeah, close play out there at second. Just like when you're a fielder who's made a couple errors, it seems like every ball gets hit to you. The base umpire has missed a couple of calls, and now it seems like every play that he has to do is like really close.
Close play. Marissa Snyder is the catcher. Second at bat for her today. Throw down to first by Grunig. Casper sweep tag too late to get Stone.
Yeah, so that's how you know you're taking the right amount of leadoff, is when you can dive back into the base and just beat the throw.
Foul tip and strike. Two balls and a strike. Daniels pitch to Snyder. Popped up. Foul territory and over. Dueck making the catch for the third out of the inning. Spring Lake Park gets their first base runner of the game, but that's it. No runs, a hit, and they leave one. 3.5 innings. Still 6-0 Maple Grove.
Emotes say a lot, but they can't say it all. Think your guildmate is struggling? Try these dialogue options. Go beyond emotes. Check in with your guildmates at seizetheawkward.org.
John Jacobson, Jim Feldman back with you. Section 5-4A softball. As we head to the bottom half of the fourth inning, Maple Grove up on Spring Lake Park, 6-0.
Yeah, they got those 4 runs in the first inning, kind of gift runs. And after that, it's been a nice, closely competitive game.
Jeff Grunig leading it off. 0 for 2 today. She'll be followed by Casper and Nelson. Brandon Nussbaum's second pitch fouled back and out of play, just over the fence. It's 0-2. Up high, 1-2. Jenna Nussbaum did not record a strikeout in the game. Brianna Nussbaum gets one in the second batter she faced. Daniels to end last inning. Head here and stays at 1-2 after another foul by Grunig.
Yeah, after those first 4 pitches she threw, that none of them were close. She's been dialed in.
2-2
for the most part.
Right.
The jinx again.
It is. Two pitch pumped up. Right out of foul territory, and the third baseman Nielsen in a few steps makes the catch.
Number 35,
then one away here in the fourth.
Home plate umpire again redrawing the front end of the batter's box. Just making sure that everybody's staying legal for this game.
Casper, get out in front of that one. Just foul.
Just too much out in front. If you were allowed to stand another foot farther forward, that would have been a fair ball.
Down low, 1-1 to Casper. Walked in the first, flew out in the third. Foul back, 1-2. Hopkins softball, we saw Wednesday on CCX, is into the winners bracket final in section 6-4A. Defeating Edina, they'll take on Minneapolis Southwest on Friday afternoon. Benilde St. Margaret's and Park Center playing in a winners bracket game today in section 6-3A at BSM.
Yeah, and I want to say that trip for Southwest is, I think that's the farthest the Minneapolis City School has gotten in the playoffs in 15 years or so. I know when I was keeping close track of it, there was about a dozen-year stretch where the only games that the Minneapolis schools won in the playoffs were when they played each other. And there's not a lot of support for the youth programs and the.
And Casper draws a walk here.
You get out in the established programs like here, and not only do you have a youth program, but you've got a good solid track that, okay, the kids that grow up here are going to go to this particular school for the most part. And so the high school coaches can get a little bit more involved.
Yeah, I could not remember, and I'd have to look it up, but it probably is that long, the last time a Minneapolis school got that far in that particular section.
Or in any section.
Yeah. First pitch strike to Bianca Nelson. Hit on base twice today. He's got a run scored. Up high. Popped up, foul, and out of play. Top of the batting cage. And it's 1-2.
I'm just sitting here listening to the crowd noise, and it's so refreshing to actually hear crowd noise at a softball game. Usually you get a couple of parents who just kind of sit there and watch, but you got people talking, you got people cheering. This is a great atmosphere.
Good crowd today, and chasing that one and striking out. He is Nelson for the second strikeout for Brianna Nussbaum.
Alyssa Warrens.
Snyder's throw down to first, not in time. Casper got back in.
And that's one of the experiences I enjoy the most about going to the state tournament in Mankato is you get these small schools come, and it's like the big town event, and half of the town shows up, and they're wearing costumes and chanting.
They'll be back in North Mankato in 2 weeks. This one flared toward short, and Rell comes in and makes the catch as Alyssa Warrens is retired and Maple Grove out in the fourth. No runs, no hits, no errors, one left on for Maple Grove. 4 innings complete now. It's Maple Grove 6, Spring Lake Park nothing.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
Really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands?
Yes.
You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Top of the fifth inning, Spring Lake Park, the number 3 seed, trailing number 2 seed, Maple Grove 6-0.
Spring Lake Park broke through with a hit in the last inning, and now, let's try and build upon that, get a couple of runs. Bella's been pretty much in control out there.
Daniels just the 1 hit allowed and struck out 2 through 4 innings. Ashlyn Peterson to lead it off for Spring Lake Park. First pitch low for a ball. Two and 0.
Good location on those pitches, just a little bit too low.
Hit the short. Berry up with it. Throw to Casper at first. One away.
Now batting third baseman number 22.
Must be a little bit of a
Alexa
rough
Nielsen.
infield out there by short, because that ball seemed to take a little hop. You know, it's certainly been affected the Spring Lake Park team.
One away, and here's Alexa Nielsen. Grounded out to St. Peter at second, her first time up. Pops this one in the left field. Strom comes in and makes the catch out and left.
Well, that was well played. I thought there was no way that she was going to get that when it was first hit.
Now batting second baseman number 9, Jenna Newsbaum.
And Nielsen is like,
didn't- yeah.
I deserved a hit there. Strom, who is the reigning CCX Play of the Week winner with a diving catch against Champlain Park. And a recent win. Picks one up here, a nice catch.
And that's when the batter is sorry she got the most explosive bat on the market, you know. Would have died 5 feet sooner, she would have gotten a hit.
Foul and a strike to Jenna Nussbaum.
Let's go, Bill. Come on, good.
Off the plate, 1-1. Bunted. Grunig up with it, throws to Casper, and they retire Nussbaum, and Spring Lake Park is down in order.
Yeah, she just makes it look so routine.
Grunig, strong fielder, and makes another assist on the throw to Casper and Spring Lake Park. Down 1-2-3 in the fifth. We played 4.5 at 6-0 Maple Grove.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Where's your emergency?
Everyone's on their way. What happened? Your friend's not breathing. Yes, please get my mom and dad. Oh my God.
Third pitcher of the day for Spring Lake Park, Megan Harkis.
And Harkis is an 8th grader. She's gotten some play already this year. But it's always good to get that playoff experience and build them up for future years.
First pitch to Danny Strom is up high for a ball. Strom with a nice catch in left field in the last half innings. 1 for 2 as a batter today. One ball and one strike to Strom, and then turn the lineup back over, and it'll be Berry and Hockett to follow. Cutting a miss. That was a nice pitch by Harkis. 1-2.
I know that changeup just can be such a devastating pitch, and it can make your fastball look faster, even if it's not, a blazing fastball to begin with.
Hit foul. And the ball and 2 strikes now to Strom. Two and 2. Swing and a miss. Strom is out. Harkis retires the first batter she faces in the game. And one away here in the 5th.
Shortstop, number 6, Elizabeth Berry.
Berry with a 2-run double in her last at bat. 1 for 3 today. Hits this one out into center field, and a nice running catch out in right center. Anna Rebke with the grab was back in center now.
Fielder,
makes the catch for out number 2.
Yeah, it's nice to see good defense. I mean, I deal a lot with some very young players, and I keep on telling you that the older you get, the more important outfield defense becomes. And a lot of games are won and lost out there.
Hockett drives one. This one's going to be deeper and not going to be caught. Goes to the fence. Hockett on his way to second. The throw back into the infield. Hockett has her second double of the day. She's 3 for 3 plus a walk.
Third baseman, number 30, Dorothy Duick.
Look at it again. Hockett. This one got back into the infield pretty quickly, but
yeah, a little bit offline. I don't think that she would have gotten a play at second anyway. But
Duick drives this one into left center field for a hit. Hockett being waved around. She'll score it 7-0 Maple Grove. An RBI single for Duick.
Yeah, Duick went up and got that one. And that's if
pitcher number 9, Bella Daniels.
The disadvantage of throwing high in the zone when your speed is not able to knock people over. But even so, that's a tough pitch to hit square like that without popping it up.
Daniels the batter. First pitch strike to her. Snyder popped out of her crouch, but Duick wasn't too far off the bag at first. This is hit up the middle for a base hit. Duick around second. Will get to third. And a single for Daniels. She's got her first hit of the day. 3 hits in a row here for the Crimson.
Yeah, that was a nice solid hit.
Now batting catcher, number 17, Jenna
Second baseman
Grunig.
made a nice dive for it, but it was just out of her reach. But you always love seeing that kind of effort.
Running for Maple Grove, number 11, Lee Eiley.
Lee Eiley will run again for Daniels, as she did back in the first. Harkis gets the first 2 outs in the inning, and now 3 straight hits for the Crimson.
Yeah, it could be if those first 2 batters come back and pass along a little information to their teammates and get everybody ready for what they're going to be seeing out there.
First pitch is up high. Throw one down to third. Duick got back in, and Eiley able to steal second.
Walking her
They're
again.
going to walk Grunig.
Now batting first baseman, number 35, Caitlin Casper.
Faith Cry will run for Grunig, the catcher,
Running
at
for Maple
first.
Grove, number 10, Faith Cray.
And these are courtesy runners, so the fielders are not coming out of the order, not a substitution.
Time called. Tony Stone out now to talk to his pitcher Harkis and the rest of his infield.
Can rechannel what you did for those first two batters.
Right. Is ready and she'll step in now against Harkis. Dueck at third, Eiley at second, Cry at first. Popped up. Infield, shortstop going back and making the catch. He is Rel for the third out of the inning. Tony Stone's little pep talk worked.
Yeah.
Maple Grove's out here in the fifth. They do get a run on 3 hits. They strand 3. We go to the sixth. It's 7-0 Maple Grove.
Stem is precise, no margin for error.
Dare to forget that. Dare to have fun with it. Get weird with it. Dare to send those old STEM theories flying past the neighbor's house into outer space. Dare to program something internet-breaking, record-breaking. Dare to blow their minds. Dare to learn the difference between sedimentary and metamorphic rock. Go find those rocks. Dare to keep daring. Dare to STEM. Check out She Can STEM to get started.
If you love them enough to relearn math so you can teach them math, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
Number 13, right fielder, Brianna Newsbaum.
Maple Grove 7, Spring Lake Park nothing. We head to the top half of the 6th inning. Brianna Nussbaum, Carissa Rell, and Hannah Rebke, scheduled hitters for the Panthers. First pitch strike from Bella Daniels. Daniels 1 hit allowed to Rebke back in the 4th. Has not walked anybody and has struck out 2. Oh, and 2 to Nussbaum leading off the 6th. Off the plate, 1 and 2. Swing and a miss. Nussbaum out. And Daniels their third strikeout.
Now batting shortstop, number 11, Carissa Rao.
Chris Orell, the batter, 0 for 1 today. Strike call.
Yeah, Daniel seems to be picking up speed as the game's going along. Getting in a groove, getting warmed up.
Line hard. Barry, a nice stop at shortstop, but has no play. Good diving stop, but was not going to be able to get up and throw out Ralph from there.
Yeah, but just getting to the ball was a nice play. You know, she popped right up and took a look, and then wisely did not make a throw. That's you know, one of the common mistakes that the younger players make. You know, is they get up and try and make the throw, and the runner's already past the base.
Popped up foul and out of play by Hannah Rebke. Rebke had the first hit for Spring Lake Park in the 4th. And now 2 hits after the base hit by Rell. Up high, 1-1. They mentioned Daniels has had excellent control all season. 15 walks in 96 innings. Not walked anybody here today. This one driven out to left, back and under. The ball though is Strom. The deepest hit ball definitely today for Spring Lake Park there by Rebke, but Strom was there and makes the out for the second out of the 6th.
Yeah, you talk about Daniels having good control, and part of that is her overall pitching motion is just so efficient and smooth. You know, a lot of pitchers will add little extra twists and arm pumps and whatnot, and you know, anything you do like that can affect your control, especially later in the game. But you know, Daniels is just smoothly going about her business and going right on.
Jim Coltis out to talk with his team. Get a runner at first, 2 outs.
Very long discussion. I'm not sure what he feels the need to talk about right here, but that's why he's coaching.
Well, Bendersky's really a good hitter. He's been their top hitter on the season.
Okay. Just issue a little reminder. Yeah.
Really got some.
We want to keep that shutout going.
Strong power and extra base hits. Over a 500 average on the season.
Okay.
0 for 2 today.
0 for 2 today.
Yeah. Up high toward ball 1. Audrey Bendersky, a pop to short in the 1st. And a pop out to first in the 4th. Strike call. 1-1. Two and 1. Throw down to first, and back in is Rell. Now speed up high. Now 3-1 to Bendersky.
Yeah, I suppose if Colts has wanted to make sure that Daniels is going to pitch around her.
Strong swing and out of play.
Yeah, given that she doesn't walk a lot of people, that's not her natural tendency. And so probably just reminded her, hey, we don't need to, get an extra base hit here and let him have some momentum.
Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here for Spring Lake Park in the 6th. Daniels pitch, driven out into right field and diving and unable to come up with the ball out there is Werns. Around comes the runner, a score, and it's a run-scoring double for Bendersky as Rel scores, and Spring Lake Park is on the board.
Now batting second baseman number 7, Kennedy Stone.
And a lot of times, just an extra base hit like that can really, perk up an offense, and it just starts rolling, especially with the runner in scoring position already.
Warren, respecting the power of Bendersky, was playing deep, and so had a decent run to come in to be able to try to make that catch, and just didn't get there in time. 1 strike to Kennedy Stone. 0 for 2 today. Grounds this one foul past third. And Daniels ahead. 0-2.
Hey, let's go, boss. Come on, okay.
Daniels waiting for the pitch selection from the dugout. Stone steps out now. Both pitcher and batter are ready, and here we go. A little poked out into left, and Strom catches the sinking liner in left field for her second put out of the inning, and Spring Lake Park is retired. But the Panthers get on the board for the first time. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 left on. After 5.5 innings, it's Maple Grove up on Spring Lake Park 7-1.
If you love them enough to suck the snot out of their nose at 4 a.m., then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Oh, sweetie. Okay, you know what? Let's take off his sweatshirt. Get rid of pictures of him. You don't have to look at him. Goodbye, Dave.
Mom, you don't understand. He's tagged in like 400 of my posts.
I can cut out tags.
No, that's not how it works.
What is a tag?
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care would love to share their first with you.
Spring Lake Park getting their first run there in the top half of the 6th as we move to the home half of the 6th inning. Bottom half of the batting order up for the Crimson. Bianca Nelson into left field for a base hit.
And so far the pitching triumvirate for Spring Lake Park has, kept the game within reach. Take away those 4 first inning runs and you've got a tight ball game.
Nelson with her first hit today. She's reached on an error a couple of times. Now the 9th hit of the game for Maple Grove.
Yeah, Maple Grove's had a lot of base runners. Left a lot of people on base.
11 left on base in the first 5 innings for Maple Grove. McCry will come in and run for Nelson. And now here's Warrens. Inside corner for a strike. Harkis, their second inning of work here on the mound, in the circle rather, for Spring Lake Park.
Yeah,
Ball and strike now, excuse me.
No, I was going to say, Snyder's not afraid to pull the trigger. She's been, doing a lot of fake throws down the first, just to try and catch the runner napping and, maybe even setting up a real throw.
Bunted by Warren. Snyder throw, and it's off the glove of the first baseman, Nussbaum, and everybody's safe. Connor Craig, it's on to third. It'll go as an error on the first baseman. Runners at the corners to start the inning for Maple Grove.
Yeah, Snyder made a little extra hitch before. She brings. No, you can't see it there. And she picks up the ball and brings her hands together before making the throw, and then that slows you down just a little bit. She did pick it up bare hand, which you want to do.
Runners at the corners, nobody out for Maple Grove, and Danny Strom the batter. 1 for 3 today. Played a solid left field as well. Runner third going. Snyder's throw down to third, rather. The runner first going. And back in time was Cray, and we're in steal second. So runners at second and third.
Yeah, that's what they've done every time there's been a first and third situation. Yes. And Springate Park has just allowed it to happen. So.
1-0 to Strom. Bunts it foul. One and one to Strom. Single and a run scored back in the third. Scored on the two-run double by Berry in that inning. Swing and a miss and a high pitch. And a good pitch by Harkis. 1-2. Out of the chase, up out of the zone.
Hey, you get such a good look at those high pitches, particularly when they're not rise ball high pitches.
He's driven out to left, but on a line, the left fielder Peterson makes the catch, tagging up and scoring. He's crying. Maple Grove has its eighth run. It's 8-1. Warrens holds at second. So an RBI for Strom. And one out now on the Maple Grove sixth.
Ran an appeal at third base for seeing if the runner left early, but no such luck.
Elizabeth Berry up for the fifth time in 6 innings. Leadoff hitter for Maple Grove. She's reached on an error and doubled on 4 trips. Tony Stone is out of the dugout. I'm going to talk to Harkis.
Try to see if we can read anything from the body language out there. Doesn't look like it. Just one of those Joe strikes.
Harkis was second behind Jenna Nussbaum in innings pitched on the season for Spring Lake Park. They're going to have her for a few years, young player.
Yeah, 8th grader. It's always good to get those kids in there and get some experience and actually get some good production too.
Warren's at second, Berry at the plate. A run in for Maple Grove, and the first pitch high to Elizabeth Berry. Foul back to the screen.
She waited on that pitch and timed it nicely, just didn't quite connect on it.
Chop foul. And now 1-2 on Berry.
Well, she's trying to hit that 3-run homer to end the game. Oh, wait, there's only one runner on base.
Now she got out.
Yeah.
Hockett could do that. Driven out to center. Backpedaling and making the catch is Rebke. Runner tags up Warrens on to third. Barry's tagged a couple out to center.
Now batting center fielder number 1, Sydney Hockett.
Rebke the catch, and now there's 2 down.
Yeah, that's always a good play to try and take third base. You know, the common thing is you don't want to make the third out at third base, but if you can get a good opportunity to go, there's a lot of ways you can score. A lot of things can happen that will score a run from third that wouldn't score it from second.
First pitch up high to Sydney Hockett. What a day she has had today. Single and a run scored in the first, double in the second. Intentional walked in the third, double and a run scored in the fifth. Marcus doesn't look like she wants to groove anything to her, and gone upstairs the first 2-0. Hit the short. Rail up with it, throws to first, and Hockett retired for the first time in Maple Grove. Is out in the 6th inning. They do add to their lead, though. A run and a hit, an error and 1 left on. 6 innings complete. Last chance for Spring Lake Park. Our score now: Maple Grove 8, Spring Lake Park 1.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
Really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands?
Yes.
You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
CCX Media is the first place you go for local news and sports. But did you know you can sign up for those stories to go straight to your inbox on our website? Simply go to ccxmedia.org. Click on the subscribe button, and from there choose which notifications you want to receive. Then we'll send your favorite CCX Media news, sports, and city events straight to your inbox. Sign up now at ccxmedia.org.
Eight to 1, Maple Grove leads Spring Lake Park. Top half of the 7th inning here for the Panthers. There's to Snyder, stepping in against Bella Daniels. Weekly hit towards second, charged by St. Peter, and it's the throw out rather by Eiley, who's now in at second. And Leah Eiley makes a nice play, gets Snyder.
There's good communication out there between the pitcher and the second baseman, and the pitcher backs off, second baseman makes a routine play. Well, a good play, not a routine play, but a play that she should make.
Eiley with her first chance and makes a good play to retire Snyder to start the 7th.
Yeah, Daniels coming out of the game. I was a little surprised, actually, that she came out to start the 7th inning.
Maddie Wilm will come in and pitch next for Maple Grove. Wilm has a 2-1 record on the season, worked 18 and a third innings on the year. Struck out 27 in those 18 innings. Get some work here. We'll take a break, couple more warm-up tosses for Maddie Wilm, and then we'll be back. More softball from Maple Grove in a moment.
base number 28, Riley Hemingway.
Matty Wilm is on to pitch in relief of Bella Daniels with one out here in the 7th. Looking to close it out here. Ashlyn Peterson, the left fielder, will be the first batter she faces. High for ball 1. Two and 0. And Peterson ahead in the count now, 3-0. Spring Lake Park bench encouraging Peterson. Panthers need a lot of base runners.
You got to start with one at a time.
That's right.
And, take free base. I would take this pitch.
4-pitch walk. Peterson aboard here in the 7th.
Now batting third baseman number 22, Alexa Nielsen.
Because I've seen this happen so often. The pitcher comes in, walks a batter on 4 pitches, and then settles in and just, finds her groove and gets the rest of the side out. So I'm sure that's what the Crimson is looking for at this point.
Alexa Nielsen to the plate, 0 for 2 today. Ground out and a flyout. One skips, gets away from Grunig and moving up on a wild pitch. The second is Peterson.
Hit the front edge of the plate and bounced up and hit the umpire. That's one that, as an umpire, you're kind of expecting on, some of these high foul balls to, you can brace yourself, but on a low pitch into the dirt, you're not expecting it to pop up and hit you in the face.
Grunig out to talk to her pitcher, to Wilm. One and 0 to Nielsen. Foul back. 1-1. Centennial, 4 runs in the 5th inning today against Champlin Park. Leads 5-2 in the 6th against the Rebels. Cougars win that. They'll play, certainly looks like, Maple Grove tomorrow afternoon at Centennial.
Right, there are a lot of nervous people there before that 4-run uprising. So I would have expected that to be a little bit easier game for Centennial.
Grounded to short. Barry goes to first. And there's 2 down. Peterson down to third. So Spring Lake Park down to its final out here today. Peterson down at third. Nussbaum today 0 for 2. One ball. Wilm's pitch. 2-0. Missed away.
It looked like she hit her spot just about exactly. And just didn't quite get the call, just a couple inches out.
Skips past Grunig in ball 3.
Yeah, you're not going to take any unnecessary chances trying to get home with being down by 7.
3-0 now to Nussbaum. Brianna Nussbaum on deck. And it's a walk. And runners at the corners for Spring Lake Park, and they stay alive here in the 7th.
Now batting right fielder number 13, Brianna Nussbaum.
But Jenna Nussbaum down to first. Brianna Nussbaum at the plate. Well, for 2 today against Daniels.
Well, and Spring Lake Park has faced the first and third situations. They've been allowing the runner to go to second, but in this situation, if the runner takes off, you want to make that throw down to second, because if the run scores, it doesn't really matter. And if you get an opportunity to get an out, take it in the game.
Ball 1 to Brianna Nussbaum. Hit out in the air to center, deep in center, making a nice catch is Hockett in deep left center field right before she hit the fence, and that is the ball game. A nice defensive play by Sydney Hockett to end it, and Maple Grove wins it, Jim, by a score of 8-1.
Yeah, it was, the Panthers committed 4 errors in the first inning, 6 in the game, and it's really tough to overcome that, especially when you're in the playoffs. Other than that, it was a really good game. Both pitchers were doing well. All 5 pitchers were doing well. And Hockett certainly had a nice game, ending up with that nice running catch.
Well, let's look at the bracket against Centennial, the top seed, leading Champlain Park 5-2 in 6 in the 6th inning at the last notice. So if that holds, then Centennial would host Maple Grove Friday at 4 p.m. Spring Lake Park now drops into the losers bracket to take on Osseo Friday afternoon at Centennial, and then Centennial, Champlain Park loser if the Champlain Park would still stay alive against the double elimination tournament, and all those elimination games are being played tomorrow as well, and then the tournament will continue next week. But Maple Grove gets this win, their first playoff game, and now presumably perhaps to play the top seed Centennial, a really good team that beat them really good handily here at Maple Grove about a month ago, and so they've got to try to turn things around, see if they can figure out the Cougars.
Well, I'm sure they'll have a little extra motivation trying to come back from that kind of dominating loss. I won't call it an embarrassing loss, but it was a dominating performance.
That will do it for our coverage today from Maple Grove. Congratulations to the Crimson. Good luck to Spring Lake Park in their next game, as both teams will play again on Friday afternoon. For Jim Feldman and all of our crew, I'm John Jacobson. Thanks so much for joining us for high school softball from the Section 5 4A tournament today. Final score again, Maple Grove 8, Spring Lake Park 1.